We're here to discuss some hot topics today. Make sure you stick around and subscribe. If you disagree with what we have to say, make sure you let us know. We'd be happy to hear it.
For sure.
Let's go. We were talking about Tekashi, and then it's a different case from what we were talking about because, if it's narcos that are after you, that's a different story. They're going to find a way to get to you, dude. Whether you're...
Do you think even here in the States?
Yes, absolutely.
No, really?
Yeah, dude, it happened to a friend.
Okay, that we'll get into that because that's a very interesting topic because I was thinking because I follow a lot of news Mexican channels on YouTube. They do a really good job. They just talk about news and stuff like that, like about narcos. Right. And I was thinking imagine we did something like that talking about narcos, and I was thinking that's a sketchy, a sketchy thing to do. But then I was like, but we're here in the States, so then you're saying
you're not safe.
Yeah. Okay. So I was on the impression that we were.
The whole world is plagued. Let's go with that. It's
plagued?
That simple. Yeah.
That's pretty deep. I didn't think about that. The whole world is plagued. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, just like there's culture, there's black people in Europe, there's Mexicans in Europe. The culture has pretty much just spread all over the world. There's no, you can find somebody mixed anywhere. I would assume. But when it comes to narcos, I feel like, yeah, they can definitely just hire somebody, and they don't give a fuck about that person. Pay them enough money, somebody's gonna do it, and actually a couple of people, because they're not gonna send one person, they're gonna send a whole team. They want to make sure you're gone. And luckily, my friend, he's quite handy with the pistol, so he was able to save his life. They broke into his home back when he was involved in some not so good things. I guess they sent somebody to kill him because he was involved in something and some confusion there, but they sent a couple people to kill him at his own home. And keep in mind, this is the home I saw him grow up in. I grew up with him and seeing him in this home. And he told me the story. There's some, I guess, glass doors. There's some see-through doors, the sliding doors that you have to go to your backyard normally. I guess he saw them through the blinds. They were climbing over the blocks.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, with fucking rifles and shit. And I guess he ran for his gun. He had several in the house at the time and started firing back. He threw himself to the ground like full-on action movie, He threw himself to the ground and started firing back.
Damn.
He said he ended up getting one of them in the back. He could tell because they left blood on the wall, on the brick wall when they were trying to escape.
Yeah.
So, but things like that.
And that's pretty crazy to think about because, but was he was a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Your friend? God, or he is?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that is pretty wild because now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of murder cases where somebody, gets murdered and then the person goes to Mexico and flees. So it is, especially here in Arizona, I feel yeah, that's true. It's not that hard to get somebody out here and then just dip out.
I feel like people have this illusion of safety. You're not really as safe as you think. All it takes is one call for your life to be a target.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. This illusion that we have lawyers and whatever, the legal system, they're not going to touch us. No, there's people that will. There's people that will absolutely eliminate you.
That is true. Yeah.
In your car, in your house, wherever you go, there's somebody that can take you out.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be when we talk about narcos, it's obviously a drug dealer from Mexico. It doesn't even have to be one of them. It could literally be a person here that is a businessman. Anybody that has enough money can get a hitman. Obviously, the funny one would be Tiger King. He's obviously in jail for conspiracy or whatever, trying to hire a hitman to kill Carol Baskin. And there are other videos if you guys watch JCS Criminal Psychology, where he breaks down this lady that literally got caught on camera was wanting to hire an ex-boyfriend to get a hitman for her so that she can get rid of the husband, collect some money, get the house. And then the hitman, instead of doing that, went to the police, told the police what was going on. The police said, okay, we're going to set up a fake situation. We're going to get one of our detectives to be the fake hitman. You're going to tell her that this is the guy. The detective went, picked her up on the car. They had a camera hidden. And then the lady was like, the detective was like, all right, so there's going to be this much money for me to do this. I'm going to have to call the cops a few times to see how long it takes them. Like, he was pretending to be a hitman, and he was going to he was telling her what was going to happen. And then she was like, yeah, I'm 100% sure. Let's do it. Here's the money on camera. They still went even more with they could have arrested her. They could have arrested her right there, but they went through with it, and they pretty much staged a whole thing. Like, the police went to her house, staged that her husband had been killed, and then on camera there was the news were there. She got there, and then she was fake. She was like, oh, what happened? Like, she was crying, and then everything was fake. But then the police went too far too. Like, they could have arrested her way before, but they wanted it all on tape and whatever.
Right.
And then basically, they took her to the station and then told her like, hey, we staged everything. And then the husband came in and talked to her, and then she was like, no, babe, I'm sorry. And then basically it was like a perfect example of like a crazy manipulator, because she was, even at that moment, she was still trying to manipulate the guy. And the guy was like, no, like I saw the tape. And then she was like, no, baby, but you don't understand. Like, she was trying to like spin it around, and she was almost getting into it. So yeah, it got off track. But yeah, basically, you don't have to just be getting, it doesn't have to be just the cartels that want to kill you. It could just be anybody, literally anybody, for not that much money or whatever. It's pretty crazy. God damn it.
Yeah, dude. I was hearing somewhere online, all the shit that's online, that it said it takes about $2 million to wipe somebody out, and get away with it.
$2 million?
And get away with it legally.
Here,
not legally, but to pay out people.
Yeah, here in the States. Yeah, because in Mexico it's probably cheaper. But $2 million, that's crazy. That's what people were saying with Elon Musk, when, I don't know if you saw that he launched that Tesla to space, like on a rocket, and people were saying that he, had somebody offed and then put him in the rocket ship, sent him to space, and then the body will never be found. So yeah, I mean, if you're a billionaire, I'm pretty sure you can get rid of people. But $2 million, that's crazy to get somebody offed.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. These guys have everything. I mean, but let's not talk about that. My whole point was, that that was
just a segment that we had.
Yeah, the whole point was, I think the question was, if you had a big audience, you could talk your smack. But honestly, what I really want to hear, Alex, is the worst time in business or at work, your worst story. I think the people should hear it.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting subject. And we're talking about the worst work stories, and we're talking about actual work, like either 9 to 5 or construction or whatever the hell,
right?
Stories like that. So you guys should also leave your stories in the comments below. Leave the craziest thing that has happened to you, the worst thing that has happened to you at your job. Damn it, on the spot, it's pretty tough. I think on the spot, I would probably have to go with, okay. Damn it. That's harder this is harder than I think on the spot.
Take your time.
I think probably the one that I would go with is, I used to do real estate full time, which is sales, focused business. It's all, service, talking to people. It's basically all this is a full on service business. So it's like keeping the client happy. And I had a lady.
Oh, easy.
Huh?
Keeping the client happy. Easy.
Yeah, easy, right? I had a lady that I met through Facebook, because I used to do a lot of posting on Facebook, and she basically had me showed her new build houses. I was helping her buy a house. I was showing her places, and she had me go, I'm not gonna say where, but she had me go to where you actually go there to work a lot, 45 minutes like south of here. She had me go there every weekend for a whole month. So I would drive out there and then drive to I would have to drive 45 minutes to her, 45 minutes to show another land, another property, and then literally did that for a whole month. And then I was just waiting for her to choose a house, put her deposit down so I can get paid, and then help her sell the house that she was living in, and then get paid again.
Right.
For a whole month, I was just grinding, driving all that time, and then some little thing happened where I could have handled it better, but at the end of the day, it wasn't my fault, or maybe it was. But she was going to get a house that was about to get built. She missed out because she didn't pull the trigger. I told her, hey, the house is no longer available. And then she sent me a text message and it was like, oh my God, that's basically that she wasn't happy that I didn't do my job right. And she was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this by myself. And thanks for your help. Bye. And then I was like, oh, what? And then a week later, I saw somehow on a Facebook group, I saw a realtor that posted her house for sale and then sold a week later for like $500,000. So I literally worked for like a whole month and lost the whole thing just like that because of one single little weird thing.
That is tough.
That was the worst thing ever.
That is terrible.
That's the worst thing that I can think of. A whole month of just driving.
Imagine that. Can you guys imagine that? That's crazy, dude.
Because real estate is obviously it's like commission, so it's not anything. It's not safe.
That's some cutthroat right there.
Yeah. But it's pretty shitty. If you can think of one, a horrible. I'm sure I can think of one too, but I just didn't. I couldn't on the spot. But something, because that one was just more like a shitty, like, oh, I didn't get paid, whatever, big deal, whatever, driving. But I was thinking of more of a story from like a workplace story, with like a boss, a coworker, that like some drama like that you've had where it was like pretty bad to the point where like you either had to leave or. That's what I was trying to think of, but I'm still trying to think of. So if you have something like that, because I just shared more, just like a basic like I lost on some commission, whatever.
Okay, so I have a couple.
There you go.
So I have one at work, and I have my worst story, which doesn't involve anybody but myself. Which one would you guys like to hear? What would you like to hear?
I would say let's do the one that involves yourself first.
Okay. The interesting is that it's actually not recently. The worst time was at 16 years old. Let me tell you, this was a terrible day. Terrible. I remember starting at 11 at night, waking up to go work. And then, because that's the time we would always start, at 11, right? So we just go to work and pick up the load, whatever, split it into all my stops, stop 1, stop 2, stop 3, cool. And then load that up. And got to the first store. Anyways, the whole point is that time my family was supposed to help me, right? But they went on vacation. My oldest brothers, my dad, and my mom all left to Mexico because they were on vacation. And I offered to stay, to help my dad out. So...
No, I'll insert some details. You had a graveyard shift job, basically, like delivering, and it was a graveyard shift. So yeah, starting 11 p.m. Like the most intense hours that you can think of,
Yeah, nobody wants to wake up at that time.
Yeah, no.
Nobody wants to wake up at 7 a.m. either. So
no, but you're saying that so your family had left. Basically, everybody had left, and you were supposed to have some help doing that job that day.
Yeah, so honestly, I was just supposed to cover the whole week for my pops. That's it. And no questions asked. But I'm not even sure. I think it might even be the week that you helped me out.
Maybe.
So,
if not, I knew about it because, we would always talk that like every day. Right.
Actually, it was a little bit after because we were 15 when we did that. I was 15, so you were like maybe 14 and maybe 15.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, anyways.
Which... is what 10 years ago?
Yeah.
God damn, I didn't want to say that, but that's crazy. Yeah.
That is crazy. The time flies. Time sure does fly.
Yeah.
But so okay, I woke up that day at 11, whatever. It's a Monday. Didn't sleep correctly, but it's all good. Just used to working that way. That's fine. That's no biggie. I get to the warehouse. I start pulling my load. I get my load. I go to the first stop. And finish. The thing is that my brother and my dad, the ones that are involved in this business, did not keep in mind that this Monday was inventory day, which means you have to count every single piece of bread in the store. And they did not keep that in mind when they left. So that was left for me. That adds about 4 or 5 hours to your day. Well, back then, not so much anymore. So I'm doing all this by myself at 16. There's no time for a lunch break. There's no time for any of that because you have to get done by a certain time. You know, grocery stores like Fry's and things like that open up at a certain time. But anyways, I was trying to hit every stop on time. I made it late to all of them because I was counting. Because we do have some of the busiest stops in the state, or we did at the time. So, you know, just trying to hit all the stops. Didn't make it to any of them on time. And I remember it was the worst day. Let me skip to the worst part, right? So that was the drive home. And it was around 4 p.m. So I had been working from 11 p.m., 4 p.m. the next day, right? No breaks, no bathroom breaks, no lunch breaks. The thing is, physically, I was broken because my feet were soaked with sweat, from working all day. What else? My belly was aching. It was hurting so fucking bad, dude, from not eating all day, right? It was just gut-wrenching feeling, and then my eyes were dusty because of the truck. It was just a terrible, terrible time. I remember saying, like, who the hell is my age and works like this? Like, thinking this is crazy. And I was just trying to get done and not be a little bitch, not complain to anybody. And I remember crying on the way home, dude. It was just like, I'm tough. This is what men are made of,
That's crazy.
This is what men are made of. This is tough guys. Blah, 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 right? And then, I just keep going. I still have to get home. I still have to get home and do orders. So I get home and do that, knock that out. That takes about 2 hours. So this is like 7 p.m. now, and then you got your wind down time. You got your things to do at home, which is clean, and then maybe prepare myself a little quick meal. After wind down time and everything, I went to sleep at 8 p.m. Just to wake up on Tuesday. I guess you could say back in a few hours.
The next day, yeah.
No, the same day. So it's from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. I woke up again to go back to work Tucson. Right. To Tucson. Tuesday, sorry.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Tuesday.
That's crazy.
So I feel like that was the worst feeling ever, just let it all out. But at the same time, I was proud, I worked my 18 hours a day, and it was like, if I can do that, I feel like I can work anywhere.
That's crazy. That is, it is true. And those are the type of jobs like serving, construction, those graveyard. I don't think I've ever had a graveyard shift like that job. Those things.
Tell me about your serving days, though. I'm sure you have a heavy day there.
Dude, yeah. You guys will relate. I'm sure, for sure, a server will somebody that works as a server will listen to this. In the serving industry, in the restaurant industry, all the servers, all the bus boys, everybody is fucking each other. Like everybody, like it's crazy.
Shit, I didn't expect that.
It's crazy. Yeah, like dude, it's like a breeding ground, dude. It's insane, and that's what happens. Like, I don't know why, but it's like a certain like atmosphere working in a restaurant that is pretty interesting. Obviously, you have the people that are like older have kids and they just go there and like work, get their money and get out. Right. But for the most part, like hostess, servers are usually college people or like whatever young people that are just like trying to get some easy shifts, or not easy but like short shifts, get some cash, whatever. And it just makes it a breeding ground. And from that perspective, it was fun because every single day was just like an adventure. It was like, all right, what's gonna happen today? Was dun dun dun. You had some cuties, you had some fun and stuff like that. But the workload was pretty insane. It was for sure the only time that I felt something like that, where it was like, it was a Saturday night. I was already good, so they served. I had 6 tables, and like I would even have not nightmares, but I would have dreams about this, where like I would always feel like I have the whole restaurant, and I'm like forgetting something, and because the whole time you're just rolling so hard, you're just like firing on all cylinders. You're just like, all right, who's missing what? And then I remember at some point just being in the little terminal where you put in your orders, and then just being like, I couldn't cry because there was a bunch of people there, but I was like, to the point where I was like, I think I could walk out right now and just quit because I'm behind. The people are already looking at me like I forgot something. I messed a plate up, so now I gotta go to the kitchen and tell the guy like, hey, can you fix it? And then now the whole kitchen is like, God damn it. So it's probably the closest thing related to you, where it's like some pressure where like you just can't quit and be like, all right, I'm gonna take a break.
That sounds like Very high amount of pressure.
It is, but it's fun though. I mean, it's a fun. Everybody thinks you serve. It teaches you some stuff. Shout out to all the servers and bartenders out there.
What was the most valuable lesson you took away from that?
For sure, treating everybody. Obviously, you should know this, but like servers are racist and they discriminate. Like I remember, like I'll be chilling with everybody on a Saturday morning, and like it'll just be like slow. So we'll just watch. You know, it'll be like 4 of us at the bar chilling with talking, and then we'll see a table come in, and if it's older Caucasian white people, the servers will be like, "Come on, go to my section."
Yeah.
And then because they already know it's an easy meal, if they see somebody like myself of a table of Mexicans walking in, Indians or black people, not gonna lie, they would be like, ah. And then I was like, Jesus. But back then I was still, it was, and what I noticed is. It doesn't matter, dude. Like I would get stiff. Like I would never really got stiff where like they don't tip you, but like every time I would get, if we close at 9 p.m., we would get like a table of like 10 people, brown people that would come in, and then I would still take it.
That's not the worst. Hold on.
No, it is the worst. No, it is. Like in the restaurant industry, having somebody come in at 5 minutes before closing, like you're a piece of shit if you do that.
Yeah, that.
It is. You are.
But out of context, it just sounded like you said brown people, and I'm like, that's
I know.
the right.
No, but you could just say it. We're brown. We can say that.
Okay.
We're here. Yeah, so I'll just finish my story real quick about the serving. But yeah, having a bunch of people walk in, at almost 9 p.m. is the worst thing that could happen. But at the end of the day, I think I was just young. I was 19, so I was like naive. I was like, all right, I'm just going to treat everybody the same. And that works. Like literally, like I would serve my own people, brown people, everybody the same way, same quality, everything. And they just tip the same. Like it doesn't freaking matter. Like at the end of the day, the people are going to tip you if they like you. Like if they like you, like if they can relate to you and they like you, but they're going to tip you. It's not a matter of like, whatever. So I was going to pull out the notes.
You see, Steve created his van into a podcast van. I was thinking of doing that with the old truck.
Which one?
The box truck.
Oh, like one of the box trucks?
Yeah, just install a regular AC unit, generator in there.
Yeah. I mean, people wouldn't even know because it's just a box. It would look like the same as this.
Yep, and it has a ramp.
Yeah. So the cool thing about the Steve one is that he can go to the guest. So that would be like a cool thing for later. Like if we can be like, go to LA. And if like we have we book a bunch of dates with guests that we would like to do, like, hey, you want to do a podcast? And then we can take the big ass box truck to them. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we could.
Yeah,
there's no problem with that.
Maybe we could. There's maybe in the car. There's also car podcasts that they do. We can do a show in the car, like put GoPros and then drive around.
That sounds like a lot of overhead, though. Even the driving one, I think it would just be better to just have a bags full of gear, like the green screen and shit, and then just set up a studio anywhere you go, or even just do Zoom or
Nah, I wouldn't. I mean, I would probably do Zoom, but I'm against Zoom. It would be good if we can have it in person.
I mean, even the biggest faces of YouTube were doing it during the COVID times, so it's not that uncommon. As long as you have an HD, like, super clear signal. And it's... Because the thing is, it sucks seeing Zoom calls when you see all the pixels and shit. But when it looks really good, you can look past it.
Yeah. For sure, it's not the same thing, but it works. It gets the job done.
Right.
But for sure, like that would be nice getting some people and some guests, and then
hit us up
because we can do it in hotel rooms because those are well insulated because they're meant to keep the sound in the room so that way people don't hear each other. So they're like the walls are like double insulated with like soundproof things. So like if you set up this in a hotel room, the audio is like crispy clear. So that'd be a cool thing. I don't know what we have another segment called Fluffy's Comeback, or unless we want to add something else to the work stories.
No, that should be it.
Do you have any other one besides the one with the almost burning out, like you were pushing yourself out?
No, but I do want to say to the people out there, if you guys do have or feel like your story is worth sharing, please share that with us. We would love to hear it. We'd love to discuss it. If you're open to discussing about it, bring you on, or at least, we'll figure it out. Hit us up.
I'm done for that. Yeah, we can figure something out. Yeah, for people that are not famous, like like one of you guys, yeah, we can do Zoom. Yeah, we can.
We're all starting from something, right? Let's
Yeah,
get it.
we are. But yeah, so Fluffy's comeback. We can talk about that.
Let's
Unless
do it.
I mean, we can jump around. This is the podcast, anyways. We can probably go back to back to what we were talking about if you want to like add in. But yeah, so Fluffy's comeback. So I didn't really hear much about Fluffy for the past couple of years, and I guess it's because he went through a breakup.
Dun dun dun.
This is gonna sound corny, but that dude, I guess, was in a long-term relationship, and I think he's like 40 years old now, or probably a little older.
40 something.
And I saw him on the Impulsive podcast, and it was pretty fun. It was a good podcast. Talk about some pretty interesting things. Obviously, he's loaded. He's rich, without a doubt. He could retire now if he wants to, which I think is crazy. And he did that show that you showed me on Netflix. What you think about it? Because I didn't see it. I don't have Netflix, but he was promoting it on Impulsive.
I think it was good. It's the thing with Fluffy is he's very unique. He's very family friendly comedian. There's not many of them like him that actually does what he does at the scale that he does. And I don't know, the fact that he filled up that arena is amazing. He's blessed. He's been doing great, and that's good. After a breakup, it just sucks. So I'm glad to see him doing so well, bounce back from the worst time of his life, as he describes it, to the best time. Because he said this is during that special on Netflix. He says, "This is the best moment of my life. This is it. This is it." After this, it's like I've already accomplished everything that I have to do.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because I think he was like the first Latino comic to sell out the Raiders stadium out there in LA, like some insane thing like that. So he's obviously freaking huge, and he talked about it on the podcast too, like how he wanted to end it and go out in a bang. Because how do you top that? Like how do you? And that's a funny thing because because as corny as it sounds, like we're content creators, we're creating content.
Right.
Imagine down the line, 5 years from now, we build a successful podcast. It's a hitter, and then where do you go from there? Because then you got to think because then if you start seeing your graphs going down, you might be thinking, okay, this is it. Are you okay with going back to, let's say right in a situation where in a year we're making very great money, like livable money, but then let's say 5 years down the road we're making insane, like life-changing money, like wild crazy money, and then we're out that moment where we're like, oh my god, this is it, this is the top, let's get it, and then we start seeing it go down. Would you worry and be like, no, let's do something so we can keep climbing? Or would you be like, all right, we had it, let's just go back down to where we're still gonna make money, we're gonna be livable, but we're not gonna be hot. People are gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember those guys, yeah, they still get views, but how would you feel in that situation? Would you continue the high of wanting to get more fame, more money, or would you just be like, all right, that was my moment, I'm good with quitting, or just maybe getting low numbers, no big deal?
Interesting. So the way I see it is, as far as income, I'm good after 80 to 100 grand. I can live off that and be happy.
Very, very happy.
Very happy. Especially being frugal.
Very happy, yeah.
The thing is, I'm more ambitious than that, and I want to make an impact. I want to leave a footprint. Whatever it is, I have no idea what it is right now, but it's going to be there. Like, I know that some people watching this right now are thinking like, hey, I feel special, but I'm not going to tell nobody because they're not going to agree with that. But I feel like I was made to do something, and I feel like a lot of people feel that way, but they're just shy to tell the world that. But I don't think I would worry about that. I would, keep grinding and know that we adapt. So just don't be scared of trying something new. Go do whatever it takes, literally whatever it takes. If you have to go knock on every single door, you're going to find everything you need behind those doors. Every connection you need. Somebody's going to help you. Even if it's 1 out of 100 doors. 1 out of 1,000 doors if you're really that desperate, right?
It'll still change your life.
it'll still change your life.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because I mean that does happen. There are, I'm actually working on some videos about that of like the fall and rise of the rise and fall of different either comedians or YouTubers, and there are some like, well, all right, actually this is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good clip. So there is a YouTuber called Noodles. So as corny as it sounds, this dude started his channel super low, 500,000 subscribers, and he was just talking about like he was just reacting at the beginning to like TikToks and YouTube funny videos and whatever. Then he started getting into like YouTube drama, and he started blowing up in 2020 when some huge YouTuber got into some huge drama, and he literally went from like a few thousand subs to exploded to now has 500,000 subscribers, and he was killing it. He was like one of the fastest growing guys. I'll show you a picture of it right now, but he's just like a 40-year-old normal looking dude, was making just like drama videos, whatever. And now, dude, you can look at the channel. He gets like 1,000 views per video. And everybody has.
And how long?
In literally a span of like a few 8 months, maybe a year. Like he literally dropped from having 1 million views or whatever every video and being popular. Like everybody used to be like, all right, what did Def post it today? Because like, well, I want to see what's going on. And now it's like a meme. Like he became a meme of himself. Like his own community on Reddit. They trash him. They're like, dude, like this is cringe. Like people don't even watch him. There's a point where people hate you and they still watch you, and then you still make money because they watch you, but they hate you. But he got to the point where people already passed him, where they're like, all right, this guy's kind of cringe and irrelevant. He's like a 40-year-old dude that doesn't even know what he's doing anymore. And he fell off hard, super hard. Insanely hard, and a lot of people are making YouTube videos about him, getting a lot of good views, and many of the reasons why that happens to YouTubers, and I know a lot of them that go through this. It always happens because they don't want to take criticism, and they end up turning against their fans. So their fans start calling them out, and then they start firing him back, and that's when things get pretty nasty.
I could see that happening with several YouTubers.
So look, this is Def Noodle. We're going to put it up on the screen. 536,000 subscribers, right? 990 views, 1.9 thousand views, 2.1 thousand, 3.8, and this is him. And he still has an office because he's still making money from his past videos. So even though he's not doing... So like, well, I don't know what this is, but this is horrible. And then the comments. I don't know why. Don't forget prison workout. And see, people are still like, he still has 2,000 people watching him, but
are they bashing him?
No, the comments here. I mean, but you can delete your comments. So this is not legit. The actual feedback is on Reddit because he can't control that forums. But his comments, he can always delete the bad comments. But he is, 2,000 views every video on a YouTube account with 530,000 subscribers. That's crazy. That scary.
Is crazy numbers.
Scary to think about that. Like, so at that point, I don't know if he's not innovating. If he's actually a bad person, maybe, and people just see through it because he had a huge growth.
What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not a huge... was not into him when he was doing his thing. But to me, yeah, it just sounds like he's not willing to innovate and do just new content because he just does like just basic stuff like, reaction. Like he'll be like, if it was me, he'll be like, all right, so today we're going to take a look at this TikTok. And then he looks at a TikTok and then just be like, oh, I don't get it. And then just, I don't know. He doesn't, I don't think he tries for his content. So that's an interesting story. So but what do you guys think on the comments? Def Noodles is done, or what? What is he a chance of a comeback? No, there's a chance of a comeback or not, because it's a pretty sad story, man. We can probably have Def Noodles on the podcast, which is a diss to him, but a slight compliment to us because we're doing pretty good. So Def Noodles has fallen so hard that he could actually be a guest in our podcast and have more views.
Come on, Def Noodles.
Let me ask you. We'll give you easy questions.
What?
anything you want to add? That was it for that one. That was an improv easy because I just wanted to clip that one because
Okay.
I think that one would get views.
How about that new city coming up in Dubai? I mean, the new building.
Oh, the mile long thingy.
Yes.
Yeah, not sure if how that would work. That sounds pretty insane. Yeah, Dubai. The thing is, Dubai has just so much money to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, especially with everything. I feel like everything, technology and literally everything is getting better exponentially. Because it wasn't that long ago that we didn't even have a phone. You know, we didn't even have internet access. That's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Any fans of the World Cup? Because the World Cup is this year, dude. The World Cup is every 4 years, and it starts in 2 months, and it's gonna be in Qatar, around over there, the Middle East. It's gonna be wild, because people are not supposed to drink and party out there. So I don't know how it's gonna work. Because people are gonna go crazy. How are you gonna have a World Cup in Qatar?
In Qatar.
Yeah, so it's a Muslim country, so obviously they have rules where like women can't wear certain type of shirts, you can't hold hands or make out in public, you can't drink in certain areas.
What if they go live? Like, remember UFC when COVID happened? And it was just awkward. The silence, and then like how they just had the ring.
Oh yeah.
And then the noises.
Yeah, that was pretty trippy.
They had fake noises, right? I think they had fake noises, something like that. They had something like Tesla with the fake V8 sound.
Nah, it was just it was like basically like an empty arena basically, and they would just fight there. So you would be able to hear the punches and because it was just so quiet. And then you had the corners screaming to them, so you can hear everybody's. You can hear the other corners telling them like, so you can hear everything. And usually when it's in the stadium, you can't hear shit. Like you can't hear your corner, the people in your corner telling you like do this and do that. Yeah, the UFC is pretty trippy, but what did you want to add about that building in Dubai? It's a trip.
Let's see a couple things. Let's see. So it'll be based on artificial intelligence. It's about 500 meters high and 200 meters wide. No cars. A carbon neutral bubble, basically. Let's see. Wow, that's incredible. So it's gonna have a different form of law, I guess. It says the Noom will operate under its own founding law, which is still being prepared. Saudi officials say they have no plans to waive the kingdom's alcohol ban. So I'm guessing, there's going to be no alcohol there. Wow.
Yeah, Muslim countries don't drink.
Guess how much only the first phase, guess how much the project is going to be costing?
$5 trillion.
The beginning phase is going to cost 1.2 trillion.
Jesus Christ.
Equivalent to 265 billion euros.
Jeez, why?
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
I can't wait to see it though. This looks so futuristic. This is like the most futuristic building I've ever seen, or whatever you could call this.
I don't even know if we'll see it in our lifetime. I wonder how long it would take to build it. That sounds insane.
The way things are going, dude, and with the amount of money they have.
Some robots or something. That sounds pretty crazy.
Couple years.
Couple of years, yeah.
Couple of years. Because really think about it, everything that they need to do to that thing, they already have. They have equipment, they have trees, they have things to plant trees, like huge equipment to literally grab the trees and like pull it out, deroot it, move it.
But still, yeah.
There's several, just like anything, there's things to figure out, but they have the resources.
They do, and the money. The money and the resources. Well, if we're talking about freaking, I don't know how, that was no segue, but I was going to say Black Adam, The Rock's movie. Watching it, not watching it, are you going to watch it? It's a superhero movie, basic. I'm not going to watch it, to be honest.
No, me neither. Honestly, I haven't been I don't know if it's maybe because of the way he just makes so many things so quickly that I just can't keep up or what, but honestly, I haven't watched several of The Rock's movies. How about you?
I probably watched Jumanji, and that's probably the only one that I've seen from him lately.
Okay.
But talking about The Rock, natty or nuts? Natural or not? Natural or not?
Definitely not.
Yeah, so that was a pretty interesting subject because obviously we are on the juice. I mean, we're jacked. Just kidding. And please let me just say this, because we're going to clip this, and just if you are on steroids, it's not a diss to you, because let me say this.
No biggie.
It does help. Steroids obviously help a lot, and that's why people use them, but you still have to put in the work. So if somebody is jacked and they are on something, you still have to put in the work. You still have to eat right, because if not, you're just going to be fat. You still have to wake up, go to the gym, track everything, so it's a lot of work. But taking the steroids helps out a ton. And the subject, or the point of the question was, isn't it kind of weird that The Rock is, obviously making so much money, so many movies like Black Adam, all these little kids are like, yeah, The Rock is so huge, I want to be like The Rock. But they don't know that he's taking all the steroids in the world. So shouldn't Marvel movies just be like, you know what, guys, like, disclaimer, like how tobacco has disclaimers that this causes cancer or this product is addictive? The Marvel movie should have a disclaimer: kids, all our actors are on juice. This is an unobtainable shape unless you get on juice.
But why would you want to tell the kids that?
So they don't get unrealistic expectations of what you can do.
But they're children.
Exactly. That's
you
why.
don't think they can learn that later on?
Well, it's a children's movie, so it's like I don't know. It's a difficult situation when it comes to children, but it's like if you teach them that young that you need to be like The Rock to be this cool person, and then so they're like, oh man, okay, why can I look like The Rock? Well, it's like, because nobody freaking looks like The Rock. And one, he's a freak of, like, when he was 18, he was already a huge guy naturally, and then on top of that. No,
I remember him being in WWE. He was slim.
No, but if you look at his picture when he was like 18 years old, he literally had a mustache and it was like just natural. So he's gifted naturally, but then he takes all of the steroids in the world, which makes him look like he is now. So it's like, I don't know, maybe should it be a disclaimer or not, or should be like nah?
No, I mean, because what kid do you see that is trying to get jacked?
Well, I would argue that every kid that's like 15, 16 year old in high school that is trying to get like everybody else.
But you said Disney movies.
Yeah. So they get you first see Black Adam, The Rock, you see Thor, you see Spider-Man, you see all the people that are jacked.
Right.
So you think, oh, so that's what a jacked person should look like. And then when you hit the gym,
okay.
And then you're 15, 16, you hit the gym for a long time, you don't get jacked like them, and then you're like, why am I not getting jacked? And then your friend's like, well, because of this. And then
but I mean, isn't that like finding out that Santa Claus isn't real? It's like, oh, okay, you came to the conclusion. Well, fuck it, get over it.
The what? Say that again.
Isn't that like finding out that Santa Claus isn't real? It's not really like an identity issue as much as it is just finding out the raw data that it doesn't fucking work. So
yeah.
you either gonna take the steroid, or there's a solution, or you get the fuck over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, it could. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. Basically, that's what happens right now. Is like you're a kid, you grow up thinking that you can be like that, and then you realize that you need to get on steroids. But then if we didn't have people on steroids in the movies, then nobody would need to get on steroids. Like everybody would just be, oh no, looking like this guy is normal because that's what we all look like.
I feel like that's just one thing though, like that you could apply that to anything that you see on social media, just like the idea being sold to everybody that you have to be a millionaire, that you have to have mansions, cars, whatever, just like that. I feel like it's all depending on you, I guess, whatever you decide to censor and not censor in your own personal life. And another thing is just being open about who you really are. I don't know. I mean, just I guess rebuilding your identity if you do have that issue. But I feel like that I think is tying in with what you're saying. I feel like that would be great to make that information publicly.
Yeah, that's an interesting subject because at the end of the day, I've never touched him. We're not gym rats, so it's like we're literally just coming at this from like the most freaking bro science. Like we don't even know, but I think it's interesting because yeah, you're right. Like it shouldn't matter at the end of the day. Like it is how it is right now. Like it doesn't matter. Like yeah, Santa Claus isn't real, whatever. And influencers are not happy all the time. They're all sad. They're all broke too. They're all in debt. So it's like, yeah, shit isn't what it is. But do you do something about it, or do you just hope that the masses hopefully don't get the wrong message? Or would it help? I don't know. I don't think it would help if you tell people, hey, this guy is on roids, just letting you know, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to watch that then. Or it's like, because at the end of the day, it's all money.
Well, I feel like you would want to watch that, right? I feel like if it's put out there, more people will be like, well, it is what it is. I'm still going to watch it, And I feel like that would cause an effect to the point where we're going to see them upgrade the steroids. Imagine to this point, you're watching some freaking beast on the field. You're not watching humans anymore. They're, on another level of performance.
Oh, yeah.
Which is more entertaining to people, which is more money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not against steroids. I feel like they work. I just think they should become more open. Yeah. Because I think all the sports should be on steroids because they already kind of are. So might as well just do it. But then it just forces people that are not on it to then get on it if they want to be competitive. But it doesn't really matter. I guess the reason why I brought it up is because it was mind blowing to me. Like unless you are a gym rat, you don't know the world of steroids. It's like finding out that finding out that a lot of people, they drink, or a lot of people take pills, to calm their anxiety and stuff like that. It's like, right. Oh shit, that's the whole thing. It's like, oh, people take steroids too. It's like, oh. And then now when you walk around in the streets, you're like, I see you. Yeah. Which is not bad, but it's just like, all right. It's just like perspective, I guess.
And some people you would never even tell because, the best way to do it is obviously if you're going to do it right. You have to go to a doctor and they examine you for a couple months on how you eat and how you sleep and all this other shit. And they give you the right dose and the right one. Don't just pick up a needle off any fucking gym,
That's the sketchy part about it, yeah.
And I know a couple people that do it, and you could tell on some of them, you can't tell on the other ones because they get the right dosage for their needs. And for the ones that you can tell, well, it's just they're being honest. They're just like, hey, I need to have a fighting chance against you young cats. And it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, if you're past 35, yeah, I think everybody knows that for sure. Like once you're past 40, your testosterone drops. For sure, get on the good steroids. Like go to a doctor. Like the thing that Joe Rogan does, the TRT, testosterone replacement therapy.
Right.
It's like they just get you up to the testosterone that you would have when you're in your 20s. But if you're in your 20s, you're ramping that up. Obviously, it's not healthy. Like your organs are just going to start failing. You're going to get off of it, and things are going to not work. So that's when it gets scary. I would say. But for sure, when I'm older, I'm gonna take that. I want to feel good when I'm old.
Absolutely, and I'm sure there's gonna be even better stuff by that.
Way better.
Maybe in pill form, maybe in other forms.
Yeah,
it's just like maybe a patch,
like the stem cells.
Yeah,
that stuff.
Or like weed, dude. There's actually a patch. There's already a patch. You can just like stick it on and it dissolves, and it's the fastest way. Jeez. I was looking at a pamphlet for it at a dispensary, and it was showing that it's faster than obviously eating an edible. It hits you faster than smoking. It hits you faster than the syrup that you can, put in under your tongue, whatever. Damn. It hits you so quick, and it lasts for hours like an edible.
Damn.
Yeah, so.
2022. Yeah, dude, it's pretty wild. We've come so far. It's fun. It's fun to be alive around this time. And we're going to be doing this podcast probably 10 years from now. Because at the end of the day, it'll be like a way to just come to chill.
Kind of like a notebook over time?
Basically. 10 years from now, it'll be interesting to see what the hell's going on. Wild stuff. A lot of wild stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of wild stuff, boys. A lot of wild stuff. It's crazy. How long have we been going for?
Almost an hour.
Damn. That's good.
Okay. And then I just wanted to talk to the subscribers and the viewers for a second, and also let them know, we're kind of just testing this out, see where we go with these talks. Oh, yeah. We're open to any conversations, anything you guys have on your mind, whether it's, you found a penny on the ground and you're excited to tell us, or if it's something serious, like you need to hide a body and you need help from us. I'm just kidding. That's not true.
Yeah, don't get out of here with that. No, I'm just kidding.
But no, definitely, share your story, or have us share your story. That's fine. If you don't want to be seen, no problem. We can do phone calls, anything. But the point is to help each other out here. Also, do you have anything to add?
Yes. So if you are watching at this point, I really appreciate that. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video. It helps out a lot with the algorithm, and we will be ramping this up. The goal right now is 1 a week, maybe 1 every 2 weeks, but we will make this a frequent thing, so you can always guarantee that you will find some new content in this channel, whether it is a podcast, some other type of content or whatever, but we will be going hard. So I appreciate that, and we will not leave you abandoned.
Peace.
Peace.